Oh my gosh. I like totally forgot to switch the camera over because I'm trying to plug my phone in so that I can see who is on Facebook. The day that I get everybody switched over from Facebook to YouTube. Ooh. And the angels will sing. Okay. Not as emotional. I've had an interesting day. First of all, with the good news, I did something that I can rarely say is that's a weird noise from my heater. That I can rarely say that I do. I went to Walmart and spent less than $100. Who's with me? Oh my gosh. I spent less than $100 at Walmart, and that is challenging to do. I have 2 kids, a husband, a million cats and dogs. I mean, that is an amazing feat. Okay, I did skate out of there at $99.48, but my mom was a witness. I got out of there for less than $100. And it was like that. I felt like that was an accomplishment. Dude, I would love to avoid Walmart, but sometimes, you know, I just have like, there's so many things that I have to get at Walmart, and or I end up going to all these different stores, you know, like I go to Costco, I go to Sam's, and then I hit Walmart, and I usually have to still go to Kroger and Lidl. I mean, it gets complicated. It's complicated. But yeah, my mom was witness that I went to Walmart less than $100. I feel like I deserve a gold star, but I mean, like, who's here to give it to me? It's not like my kids are going to give it to me. I mean, oh my gosh. And speaking of which, that's the other thing that's kind of got me off kilter, and my makeup is still out. Oh my gosh. Is because thing one has a toothache. Now, some of you know that thing one is my son that is on the spectrum, and he has a problem with the dentist. Okay, like he has a serious phobia, a fear that is just crazy in him about the dentist. So he won't say anything is wrong with his teeth until he's in so much pain that it's like, now I've like dosed him up. I had to run to CVS and get some like tooth numbing gel. He has an appointment tomorrow. I was able to get him an appointment with my dentist, who is also on the spectrum, in the morning. So yeah, it's good times. It's good times. The closest one to me is 15 miles away and a very seldom. Well, yeah. I mean, I get it. I do. It's more affordable than other stores. It is a lot more affordable than most other stores. But I tell you, when Kroger and Publix has coupons, girl, that's some serious stuff. It is. Okay. I'm not as emotional today about the Epstein files. I've calmed down a little bit. Although, y'all know I don't watch the news. But my clients will send me all kinds of stuff. Emails, texts. I mean, crazy stuff. And right before I went to CVS to get my son the Oragel, somebody sent me a text that Oprah Winfrey, her private jet was spotted on Epstein Island 11 times. Now, we're not getting into that. We're not. Because I do consider her a spiritual leader. I mean, Oprah, what are you doing? So far, you know, it's been heavy hitting, but one of my clients that I talked to on Saturday just really had me messed up because her, you know, I think I shared this with you on Sunday, that her brother was in a situation that traumatized their family, where he was almost abducted, but was saved by neighbors. And that was in the early 80s. So it's like something that has just lived with him. I think it was in the early 80s. I don't think it was in the 90s. But it was something that just hit home with her, and reading about these children, it was a very emotional night for me Saturday. I do appreciate y'all. I did, like I told you, I deleted the video after one of the ministers that I talked to, he texted me and told me to stop calling myself an asshole. So, okay, all right. Then I had to apologize to my mom and aunt for calling their dad, my grandfather, an asshole. And where they're just like, well, you have your opinion. It's unfortunate that I also apparently look like him, and thankfully, I also have his hairline. So, appreciate that, man. He could have given me his height, but, didn't do that. That's okay, though. So, anyway, we're going to talk about these spiritual leaders, and I'm not going to be all emotional and all over the place. So, I want to talk about how our spiritual leaders should be our guides. They should be our guides. Much like my cat, who has been sitting in my lap for most of the day, is now pissed that I'm talking to someone else. And now he's going to be very vocal in the background. But our spiritual leaders, our ministers, our spiritual gurus, our bishops, priests, whoever, our Dalai Lamas, whoever it is that you turn to for a spiritual leader, do not elevate them. Respect them, yes, have respect for them, but do not elevate them. They are here to be our guides. They are here to help us navigate. They are here to help us understand the Bible, understand the Torah, understand why my cat is digging in a bag. What are you doing, Mercury? They're here to help us understand. They're here to help us navigate. They are not here for us to elevate. Now, I realize that we have a pope that a lot of people elevate, right? I still feel like he is a guide. The last pope, I have his book. I thought he was a pretty neat guy. I don't know much about this pope, but I read everything. Back here, I have a litany of stuff. I even have a book from the Scientology people. What is that man's name? You know who I'm talking about. Ron Hubbard. Yeah. Okay. See, I have to write these things down. I have books from everywhere, but just, I like to read these things. But I don't know as much about every religion. I like to study it. I like to see how it's different from Christianity. Going to a Baptist college at Truett McConnell here in Georgia, you had to take Old Testament and New Testament. That was on the curriculum. It was a semester of each. So I spent quite a lot of time studying this. I don't feel like it, even in the Bible, some of the spiritual leaders were necessarily elevated. Some of them were elevated too high, but some of them lived very, they lived nobly for the time, but they also didn't live high on the hog. I see somebody in. Hey, Mindy, how are you? Thank you, Mindy. I know. I'm just trying to get everybody migrated over to YouTube. All right. And the thing is, there's a lot of people that I do feel like I said the other day about Jimmy Swaggart, and I remember very vividly my grandmother watching Jimmy Swaggart and him crying on the altar because he got caught with a hooker or something. I don't know. I stepped away from my beliefs for such a long time, and it was actually a lady that used to do cards that brought me back, that made me understand that it didn't have to be an either-or situation. And I don't elevate her. I actually still use her books, even though she has stepped away from new age, like spirituality or whatever, and she's back to being a devout Christian. That's fine. But she helped me come back to my faith. She helped me come back to my faith in God. I don't elevate her, but as much as I don't really appreciate like the way she is and the way she discards like some of the new age belief systems now, I don't hate her either, because she helped me return to my faith. She was a good guide for me at that time. You know, I talk about Louise Hay all the time. I keep pointing back here because one of my favorite books is You Can Heal Your Life, and it's right there. I think Louise Hay was an amazing guide. Like for me, I still use her stuff. I still use her work, just like I do Doreen Virtue. I also like have been talking to my mom a lot about her new Bible classes that she's taking. And I am fascinated. I'm interested to see how other people like take in their faith and how they do things. I just learned a long time ago not to elevate people. And I've done it. I have done it. Not to elevate people that are in that spiritual leadership role. And I've put them in the wrong position. And the thing is, I think that it's my fault when my perception of them changes. When they do something that's more like human, when they start making mistakes, then I'm disappointed, but that's my fault. And I think that this is the reason, again, I love Maya Angelou, why she said that she left in her writings all of her mistakes, all the things that she did wrong, all the things that she, you know, felt like she was like, well, you know, I got criticism for this, but it's fine. I learned from it. But she left that all in her writings because she did not want young people or even her son coming in after her to think that they had to be perfect to achieve like something big, to like write a book or to become like a PhD professor or to become a minister. She didn't want them to think that you had to be perfect for that. I do that with my kids. I try really hard to do that with my kids, and I apologize to them all the time because I screw up on the daily. I mean, on the daily. My son with the dentist. I think that he's afraid of the dentist because I sort of pressured him into going to the dentist when he was little, and he was really scared, and I didn't understand. I understood the mechanics of being on the spectrum, but I didn't understand like the emotions and stuff tied to it. And I pressured him into going, and I apologize to him all the time. I'm like, I'm sorry. We're going to take care of this. It's going to be different. It's going to be different. So I try to let my kids see that I'm human. I don't think a lot of our spiritual leaders do that enough. I don't. I forgot this man's name again, even though I wrote it down earlier, but I wrote it down in my house and not on the pad that's in front of me. He used to do the sermons at the Crystal Cathedral in, I think it was in the Bay Area or San Francisco or something like that in California. It was in that northern part of California, and it was the Crystal Cathedral, and I forgot his name. But he acted up on an airline once in the 90s, and they put him on the news because people were talking about, you know, him because he was pretty famous, and they were putting him out there and saying, you know, he acted up on the plane, and he got up in the pulpit on television because my mom watched him. He got up in the pulpit on television and apologized. And I'm sitting there with her. I'm like, what did he do? Like, this man? And she was like, oh yeah, he screwed up. And he was like acting kind of like entitled, or he was tired and he was irritated, and he was an elderly man then. And he acted up on the airplane, and she said he got up in front of everybody and apologized. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. And I think a lot of people still had a lot of respect for him because he did that, but a lot of people, like, he lost viewers, they said, on television, because, in the 90s, we didn't have YouTube. Um, but they said he lost viewers for a while. I get that, but I don't think it was his fault because he didn't ask to be elevated that way. Even though he was on television and it was this huge, really enormous, I guess it was sort of like a mega church back in the 90s. But it's, I think there are spiritual leaders out there that are really good and admit when they're wrong and admit to being human and just say, hey, this is who I am, this is what's going on. And then I think there are spiritual leaders that don't. These are the people that go into the ministry, that go into some sort of spiritual guru thing, that abuse their power, and they're looking for power and money when they step into this. Now, I don't think there's a lot of small town churches in the area where I'm from in Georgia. There's a lot of churches and they're mostly small, okay? Even the big churches in that area are small, but they most of those ministers are good. Most of them are. The man who did my grandmother's funeral a couple of years ago, not good. He took the opportunity at her funeral to minister about how his projects that he's doing in Haiti, or I don't know, his ministering that he's doing in other places. And I'm like, is he serious? Is he seriously sitting here at my grandmother's like graveside service and asking for money? I've never liked that man. But again, he's in a small town, but he does what he has always done. For the past 25 years at that church, he has done nothing but ask for money of a community that is very small and does not have a lot. And for me, I think that's abominable. I think that is horrific. And I don't think that's particularly forgivable. It's not for me to judge that man, but it still pisses me off. It pisses me off to see these ministers around Atlanta that have these enormous churches and their congregation is barely able to, like, give their tithing. They're able to just put together what they can to give as a tithe. And those people are wearing Louis Vuitton in the pulpit. That's something I have a problem with. But they're elevating those ministers. They're elevating those pastors and being like, I want to be like them. I want to be like them. How? Because this is not, they are not, this is my opinion, I do not feel like they are really the leaders that God or whichever leader of their organization is wanting them to do. I don't see many Buddhists doing this, but I don't know as many. Know a lot of Christians. I don't know as many Buddhists. I know a few. I know a few Hindus. I read for them. I don't see as many in that culture, but it doesn't mean that they're not there because, as I said, the Dalai Lama was apparently, they denied it, but said that he was on the Epstein file list. Now, I don't know. I truly don't. The Deepak Chopra thing, I got to tell you, Oprah's upset me a little bit. That bothered me a lot. Talking to other people and listening to their stories of just abuse and like near abduction, it was just a very heavy day for me. And then I look at all these people that I talk to on a daily basis that talk about their ministers and they're disappointed. They're disappointed in the way that their church is going. they're changing churches because they're coming to a church for a community. People go to any kind of spiritual retreat, any kind of spiritual like conference or whatever. They will go to these classes, these retreats, these buildings, whatever. They're looking for a community. They're looking for someone to help them understand. They're looking for someone to help them feel better so that they can elevate themselves. And I just don't feel like a lot of our spiritual leaders are doing that. I truly don't. I really do feel like I'm guilty of it all the time because I don't always feel like I'm helping people like I should be. Now, that being said, there was a place that I used to work and I could not stand when they did this. They would ask me to teach classes that I did not know how to do, and they would ask me to do it last minute because the instructor didn't show up or couldn't make it or canceled at the last minute, and they would ask me to come and teach a class about like blessing water or like the importance of water or something, and I'm like, I don't know this stuff. And they would hand me a stack of materials like, 45 minutes before the class was supposed to start and say, just read up on it, you'll be fine. Because they wanted the money for the class. They didn't want to lose out on what those people had already paid for the class. And I was giving them nothing. I mean, I'm like talking out of my ass up there going, I've been to conferences where people have done the same thing. Somebody didn't show up for a time slot and they would be like, can you go out there and talk about this? And they were like, you're good at talking. You just go out there. Yeah, I'm good at talking, but what? And I'm like, I'm out in front of people. I'm like, hey, obviously you see that I'm not that person. I'm not well versed on their subject, but let's talk about what I do know about this subject, because I hate that. I hate trying to guide people into something that I've not experienced, that I don't know enough about, that I haven't educated myself on. But there's a lot of spiritual gurus out there that do that very thing because they see money, they see dollar signs, and they're like, go sell, because I've been told, they're like, go sell your class, go start a Patreon. Well, I have a Patreon, but I haven't put anything on it. And I'm like, what am I going to give them? What is worthwhile that I'm going to give them? What do I have that I can charge people $3 or $5 a month for? What? And they're just like, no, just start a class, do numerology. Okay, well, and I'm like, those are things that I've actually been thinking about, but I'm just like, how is that really helping? So I turn it in on me because I see all of these people out there trying to make a buck, trying to like sell a class on mediumship, trying to sell a class on like being a spiritual coach. Okay. For me, they throw around the words empowerment and self-empowerment way too much. And, they throw around words like manifesting and law of attraction. Yes, those are real things. And we've talked about it here. But the thing is, self-empowerment sucks. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Self-empowerment sucks. When you hear these people throwing around self-empowerment, I don't want to say, hey, Mel Bailey, oh, Mindy, hey, but I don't want to sit here and go, did I miss anybody? Grape Carter, I need you to make me a dentist appointment too. Oh my gosh, do I know Grape Carter? I do know Grape Carter. Oh my gosh, y'all, my cousin is in the chat. Would you look at that? But I'm not going to sit here and go, hey, Mel Bailey, let's get you set up with some self-empowerment. Let's go, girl. Do you know what self-empowerment means? It means you have been through a whole lot of shit and you know how to pull yourself up by the bootstraps. That's not what I want. I don't want to see you guys in a whole mess of crap. I don't want to see you in all that so that you have to do that. I think that it's good to be there and be a helping hand and say, hey girl, I see you there. Can I help you? Can I do this? Self-empowerment is I don't want to say it's a crock of shit, because I see it. I see that single mom out there working her ass off to save for a down payment on a house. Um, I see these people out there just saying, okay, this man busting his ass because he wanted to start a food truck. I see that. That is a version of self-empowerment, overcoming obstacles and pulling yourself together with because you don't have any other resources, because you have to depend on yourself. But isn't it so much easier when you can call up Grape Carter? I recognize the picture. When you can call up Mel Bailey, when you can call up Kelsey, when you can call up Mindy and say, hey, I could really use some help. Hey, can you do this? Can you tell me how to do this? Can you point me in the right direction? The thing is, self-empowerment and people throwing around words like that means that you have been through some shit and you've had to pull yourself up. Why? Yes, like teaching others how to help themselves, teaching others how to get out of that same mess, that's great, because then you can help other people how to get out of it. But I'm not sitting here going, I wish self-empowerment on all of you guys, because that sucks. That sucks. And I think we've all been there when we're just like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I mean, and as much as I joke about my dads, because, I have two dads, a Capricorn and a Gemini. Seriously, God has a sense of humor. But as much as I complain about them, I know I can turn to my dads and just be like, okay, dude, look, I've tried to figure this out. And one of them that lives really close by me is the one that comes over and goes, why didn't you call me to begin with? You've messed this all up. I'm like, no, this is where we are now. This is where we're going to start. We're not going to look back. We're not going to do that. No. We're going to start where we are now, Mr. Capricorn, and we're going to move forward. We don't need to rehash it, but they help. They help. And I am very lucky, because some people don't have that. So some people turn to their spiritual leaders. Some people turn to their churches or their temples, or I don't know, their metaphysical guru place, whatever. They turn to those people and they're like, I need help. What can I do? And when they start spouting out, oh my gosh, just manifest it. Just law of attraction, manifest it. No, girl, no. I'm about to get evicted. I'm about to lose my car. I need to figure out what I can do. Do you have any resources for me? Oh, see? Now that's where you can start to help someone. Or I'm feeling really down. I'm feeling really empty. I don't know how to feel anymore. That, again, is where you can step in and say, yes, I can help you. That's what our spiritual leaders should be doing. Now, again, I am not saying all these spiritual leaders are bad. They're not. There are some that are, as I said last week, Mouse, buddy, you're really, really acting like a bad spiritual leader right now. So he's so pissed. I'm not going to feed him until after this is over, and he's mad. And he's also mad because he's not sitting in my lap. But again, so there are spiritual leaders who are bitchy. Like one of my dads. Well, actually, like both of my dads. But really bitchy, and are just like, oh, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Da, 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 da. No. But they'll still help you out. It's a different kind of spiritual leader, and probably a little bit what you get when you come to me. A little bit. But the thing is, you should be able to go to someone, whatever community you choose, whatever religious practice you choose, whatever spiritual path that you're on, there should be someone there to help you that is not trying to fleece you for your money, that's not trying to lord it over you, that they are more powerful, or that you should be putting them up on a pedestal. that is my opinion. That is what I see. So when I see and I get all these messages from people saying Deepak Chopra is on the Epstein list. The Dalai Lama is on the Epstein list. And today, Oprah is on the Epstein list. Now that hurts. Oh my gosh. Hello. How am I going to look at her favorite things anymore? I mean, what am I supposed to do? But that being said, I'm not elevating those people. Okay? I can have respect for them, but I am not going to allow, and I do think that Mr. Chopra, I think I'm saying his name right. I mean, I've been reading his shit for years, but still mispronouncing his name. Well, I am a Southern girl, but I think he has written some really great books. I think that he is, I think that he's a fine fella, unless this stuff is real. But I think he's written some really great books. I think that he has really helped people. If all of these allegations are true about any of these people, former politicians, whatever, yes, I'm going to, again, hyperbolically say they should be thrown into an active volcano. I don't have an active volcano, so I'm going to choose what CC Suarez says on her podcast. They just need to be thrown into an active volcano. And this is, again, hyperbole because I don't actually have one, and I am joking. So this is where we should be. I know I'm missing a lot of comments here. Hang on. Oh, good. Just go to YouTube. That's what I get told a lot of the time when I ask for help. Girl. No. I mean, yes, YouTube helps me out a lot. My basement has leaked in the winter every time it rains for 10 years. How long have I been in this house? Well, my realtor's in the comments. How long have I been in this house? I think it's been 10 years. And I finally, in the past couple of years, have been trying a number of things that is on YouTube to fix my basement. And I think we got it nailed this time. Pretty sure. I made Dr. Seuss like apply all the stuff that I read about and purchased. And he did the application. I feel like that's a good trade-off. Well, actually, I just couldn't get down there to do it. But so it hasn't leaked so far. We'll see if this continues on. But I think the only reason I actually got Dr. Seuss to jump into gear is because I told him I was not going to move the elliptical into the basement until we got the flooding fixed. Yeah. So he was like, okay, well, I'll put it together then. I gotta sneeze. Phew. Okay, only one. So, I mean, the thing is, you can search on YouTube for just about anything. But there's a lot of people out there, even on YouTube, especially online, that will have like a show and that points you in the direction of their book or classes or whatever. I've taken some of those classes, and some of them are quite good and very informative. And some of them, to be quite honest with you, are crap. I mean, they are crap. I have probably, because you know I like to take some classes. Y'all know I like to take some classes. So I've probably taken maybe 9 to 11 different courses for coaching, you know. I've gotten all these certifications. Some of them are not even worth the paper that they're printed on. I mean, I'm just like, what did I learn here? What did I learn here? Same with astrology courses. I see a course, I'm like, okay, let's see what this is about. Let's just see. I've taken hypnotherapy classes because, you know, I'm real curious, real nosy, Gemini moon. And I'm just like, what we got here? Let's see about that. some of these classes are not worth the paper that they're printed on. And these people out here charging, you know, $50 and up. And when you see how many people have taken the classes or how many people are taking the class with you, and you're like, I can add, it's astounding. It's astounding. Now, I do think that like some of the favorite creators that I've had on YouTube, they have Patreons and they do like extra things on their Patreon account, and some of them are spiritual people and they will do extra things on their Patreon, and they'll do you know, they'll do special sessions or whatever, or they'll have like sort of a forum where everybody can get together and talk and stuff. And it's a really interesting thing. I like that. So there's some people that like have a YouTube channel or have something on TikTok, and they send you over to their Patreon because they can't get, their content is a little crazy and they can't get monetized on those platforms. They keep getting demonetized, so they move over to Patreon. Again, understandable. Taking classes is very interesting, but I think you just have to watch it. I do. Even taking classes from me, listening to any of my readings on YouTube, listen to your own guidance. I am just here to help you as far as I've come on my path. And I hope all of you surpass me, like way, way surpass me. I think that I think that would be a great thing. And it's like people that I coach on YouTube. One of the ladies that I have coached on YouTube, she keeps telling me to do what she's doing because she does zodiac readings. Girl, that woman is doing like, I don't even know how many damn like videos she's making a week. I mean, god dang. And she is doing really well. She has over 40,000 subscribers. She's really just like kicking it. And it's impressive. But I don't want to do that right now. I don't want to do all the zodiac readings right now. I tried it. It didn't work for me. But I am so happy that she surpassed me. I'm so happy that what I learned from making all these mistakes on YouTube has helped her. But I don't want to do that. So I do feel like that I just wish more spiritual leaders were like that. I see spiritual leaders that try to keep a lot of their people back because they don't want someone to exceed them, especially in the metaphysical community. They don't want someone to excel beyond them. And I'm like, why? I don't understand that. I thought this is why we were having this like this conference. I thought that's why we were having all of these classes. I thought that's why we were doing this, so they can elevate themselves, so that we can show them what we did and they can help themselves elevate. No, they don't like that, because now those people can take their knowledge and they can go out there and they can teach some classes and they can make money that the first person feels like is getting taken away from them. I just want to be real clear. None of this stuff is new. None of this stuff was new. The first 5 books of the Bible is the Torah. Do you know how long ago that was written? A long time ago. Oh my gosh, girl. You know, this is nothing new. Most of the stuff that spiritual people, metaphysical people teach still comes from some sort of organized religion. It may not be 100% Christianity. It may not be 100% Buddhist. Those are the 2 that I know the most about. But I do know a smattering of stuff about other religions. But the thing is, when you look at it, a lot of the stuff from the metaphysical community comes from some organized religion. And a lot of it does come from the Bible. The book Ask and It Is Given, that comes directly from the Bible. That comes directly from the New Testament. None of this is new. It's just that people are always discovering a new way of presenting it. Look at that when you are looking at your spiritual leaders. Look at how they are presenting it. Are they helping you to understand it and navigate it in this day and age? Because it is very different right now as we are speaking than it was in the 90s, than it was in the 60s. And oh my gosh, it's a whole lot different than it was in like Laura Ingalls Wilder's day. I mean, okay, you know, I read all the Little House on the Prairie books. Don't get me started. I mean, they weren't even allowed to read anything that wasn't the Bible on Sunday. Are you serious? Like, I mean, girl, I was on Instagram a lot on Sunday, and I was with my mom. So, you know, there's a lot of information out there, and I want everyone to be aware that we should have respect for a lot of our spiritual leaders if they earn it. And that includes me. I don't really consider myself a spiritual leader, though. Let's just be clear about that. But there's a lot of people that I talk to that are in the ministry in some way, shape, or form. And there's a lot of disreputable ministers out there. And I was actually horrified to find out about it. I didn't realize, like, I went down a weird rabbit hole with the church in the last couple of years because I'm like, I can't actually believe that this is real. Like, I can't actually believe that this is happening, that these people are out there doing this. I do have a lot of clients that are ministers, but I also have a lot of clients that are readers themselves. One of my clients that is a reader has a minister that comes to her wanting her to put spells on people. And that is crazy. I mean, and I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, he asked me to put spells on these women. And it wasn't to help him sell more Girl Scout cookies. So I think that we have to be aware of, let's call them predatory spiritual leaders. And you have to sit back and think. And it's so hard when you're in the moment and you're getting all, because these people are good at it. They're good at getting people amped up and saying, oh my gosh, yes, yes, I want a better world. I want to get out there and buy 100 acres and let's all live on a commune together and raise vegetables and goats and cows and whatever else and chickens. Let's all just live together in peace. And then you find out it's a cult. You know, it's crazy stuff out there. All right? Think. Before you donate your life savings, before you move to a commune, before you take a class that the certification isn't worth the paper it's printed on, stop for a minute, pull yourself out emotionally, and just say, hey, I'm going to need some guidance here. And talk to whatever higher power you believe in. Talk to your ancestors, your guides, your angels, whoever you want to. Do like Michael Jackson says and talk to the man in the mirror. Go figure it out, get into a place and just be like, okay. Because I had a client that wanted to take this class and she was so desperate for it. And she was like, oh my gosh, I got to come up with $4,500. And I was like, oh my gosh, $4,500? What the hell? Did somebody get arrested? Did your car blow up? Like, what's going on, girl? Because that's like substantial. No, it was a class she wanted to take. $4,500. I was like, stop. What is it that you want to learn? I went on to Amazon. I selected 3 books and I shipped them to her house. And she cashed at me, I think it was like $71 roughly. And I sent the books to her house. Call me if you have questions. Before you wreck yourself over like having the money to do these things. And I understand, because I love being on Mind Valley. I love taking some of those classes, but I cannot always afford the yearly subscription because, when I have the money, I'll sign up for it, but Mind Valley is a little pricey. I think it's like $400 a year. Okay, when you say it like that, it doesn't, you break it down into 12 months or whatever, but I think you have to pay it all at once. That's been my experience. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they do have a payment plan and I've missed it, but there's just times that I'm like, I can't justify the $400 because, if it's in the summer, then my kids are going to summer camp somewhere. If it's like at Christmas, oh, forget it, because those Legos are not cheap. And are you kidding me? One of my sons collects trains. Again, not cheap. So you just have to sit back and go, all right, what is more important? Because I have a family. I live here. I do have to pay for my house. I do have to pay for my car insurance. All these things have to be paid for. So I'm not going to get myself out of whack because I wasn't able to renew a membership with Mind Valley. And some of those people in Mind Valley still a little over the top. But I do like taking a lot of those classes. They're fun. For me, it's relaxing. But stressing out over money, not relaxing. So when you get into those places, when you feel the pressure from whatever organization you're a part of, a church, a metaphysical community, where they're pressuring you to either tithe more than you can or to buy a class or do something that you just simply cannot afford to, then step back and just say, you know what? Maybe next time. You know what? I can give you my time instead of my money. That's what I have available. It's okay. It's okay. So just letting you know that. And seriously, I do not consider myself a spiritual leader at all, but please, please, please watch who you elevate. And don't elevate me. Oh my gosh. No, I'm recovering a bunch of stuff. I mean, a bunch of stuff. I mean, really, I dated everybody in Georgia. I had to move to Colorado in the early 2000s because it was time for me to step out. It's an interesting time. It is. Watch who your spiritual leaders are. Watch who you put your time, your money, your energy into. And just keep your faith. Don't let any of these people who are screwing up, and we're going to see more of them on the Epstein list. We are. Don't let them wreck your faith. Don't let them help make you step away from your belief systems. Because you need that. Everybody needs it. That's where we turn when we have crazy times. Oh my gosh, girl, I love the Little House on the Prairie stuff. I've read all of those books so many times. I mean, seriously. It's I love the Jane Austen books. I read them all at least once a year, minimum. But I read the Little House on the Prairie books maybe once every couple of years because I still have them. Yeah, I got a set for Christmas one year and I still have them. Oh my gosh, I bought some new books. I have them kind of tucked away right now. Dr. Seuss doesn't know about them. I got in trouble one time in Colorado. We were getting ready to move back to Georgia. And he had been helping me pack up my books and put them in a storage unit because we were packing up stuff months before we actually moved, and we're putting the boxes in the storage unit. He was like, okay, you're on a book buying freeze. I was like, sure, yeah. Well, I volunteered at the Whale of a Sale that Jefferson County Library put on every year, where they would sell off all these books. And they would sell off records and audiobooks. It was an amazing sale. Well, when you volunteered, you got to set some books to the side, and then buy them at the end of the weekend when they would just go for $5 a box. Yeah, it was like $3 a bag and $5 a box. This was years ago. And so I had all these books set to the side, and I put them, like, I bought them, you know, and I put them in my truck because I had a 4Runner. I put them in my truck and I hid them just in the back in the cargo area. And every day I would just like bring up 1 or 2 books into the house. And Dr. Seuss does not have social media. So I was posting this stuff on Facebook, just like, ha 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 ha. One of his coworkers was following me on Facebook, and she ratted me out. Yeah. So I got in trouble for that, but that's fine. Oh my gosh, girl, I got a lot of recommendations about books. I got some new authors that I've really been into. I mean, and then I got all into the people on Book Talk. Oh my gosh, those people are crazy. Crazy. But yes, I got a lot of books. I mean, what do you want? You want romance, like, you know, a little more heavier smut side, or just a little lighter side? Mysteries, yep, I'm in that too. Like ghastly mysteries and like sweet mysteries that everything ends up good, or funny ones, got all that. Of course, you got the historical stuff. Oh, 100%. And then all these metaphysical books I got back here. Oh yeah, can't stop that. And now I got an EIN number, so I buy this stuff like, I'm like, oh, this is a business expense. It's not a business expense. It's crazy. Yeah. So, still have my set of Little House. Oh my gosh, I love that. I love it. Okay, so how are you guys feeling? And again, thank you guys so much for being so sweet to me after I sort of like lost myself for a little while on Saturday night. It was a super heavy day. And the people that texted me and emailed, I haven't gotten to all of them yet, but I I tell you, it was a heavy day listening to people's stories. And I don't normally work on Saturdays, you know, as much anymore. And I was just like, wow, it was a lot. It was a lot. So, but Dr. Seuss got a movie that is like crazy stupid and makes me laugh every time I watch it. So he found the movie for me. It's called Soap Dish. It is a really crazy, stupid movie, but I love it and it makes me laugh. So he got that movie for me, and I sort of pulled myself out of it. And then I went to Walmart with my mom, who falls ass backwards into sales like nobody's business. So if you ever want to know what's on sale, send me a text, because my mom probably knows about it. Seriously. And anytime I'm looking for something and I look at the full price of it, I'm like, let me call her. So I call her. I'm like, hey, I'm looking for this. If you see it on sale anywhere, just give me a holler. I'll Venmo you the money. I'm not kidding. That woman falls into sales like crazy. So it is nice to go shopping with her. So that was a good day. And now, oh yes, there was one thing I wanted to remind you guys of. All these spiritual leaders, I knew there was something else on my sheet. All the spiritual leaders, like, even if it's a small town minister, do you really know them? Is this somebody that you really know? Is it? That's where we have to like draw a line with admiring and elevating, because as much as, you know, I love Oprah. Oprah's book club, Oprah's favorite things. Girl, I've been watching Oprah since the 90s. You just do whatever Oprah says, just like Liz Lemon said on 30 Rock. You just do whatever Oprah says. Well, this is disappointing. This is hugely disappointing. But I'm not elevating her. She's a billionaire. That's fine. She can take care of herself. But I do admire her. And she's not perfect. She screwed up a lot. I mean, look at like her buying all that land in Hawaii after the fires and stuff. The thing is, I mean, I can still admire her, and I hope she didn't have anything to do with the Epstein fiasco and horror. But we'll see what shakes out. I know. But again, I don't really know her. I do know her stuff, though. Oh my gosh. She can really pick some good stuff, you know what I mean? So that's fine, though. But I don't really know a lot of these other spiritual leaders. You don't really know who they are at their core. I would like to think that some of them are really good people and they're not just out for money and power. I would like to hope that. Even like pastors or bishops or priests or I don't know, whatever, like monk or whatever that you have out there, I would like to hope that there's a lot more good than there are bad, but it's going to be all right. Keep the faith. Keep your faith. And I hope we don't see any more, like, this whole Epstein thing is just, I think it's just going to be horrific. I think it's going to be horrific. Self-help books, oh, good. Oh, my gosh. Anything that Louise Hay has written. Anything that Louise Hay has written. I also really like the Abraham Hicks stuff for the most part. Cindy Dale. I really like Cindy Dale. Oh my gosh. John Holland. John Holland has written some fabulous books. Cindy Dale and John Holland and Louise Hay have audio versions to their books. I mean, if you can find them, Doreen Virtue's old books, but they're really hard to find because they're not in print anymore. And at one time, she asked people to burn her books and cards. Not doing that. But right off the top of my head, Mel, John Holland, Louise Hay, Cindy Dale, and it's Cyndi. That's how she spells her name. Cindy Dale. The Abraham Hicks. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to pull, like, I had all of these on my website, but we don't want to talk about my website right now. It's still not up. I think I found somebody that can help me. It's fine. It's fine. It's only February. I'm getting myself together. I have technically 10 more months to make this happen before we're at the end of this 1 year. Yeah. All right. Are you guys feeling okay? Are you feeling good? Thank you for listening to me on Saturday. Thank you for accepting my apology. Those of you that were here on Sunday. Please don't lose your faith. I know I said this on one of those days that I let one person, one spiritual leader a long time ago, like one errant thing that came out of their mouth turned me away from my faith for a while. And I just don't want to see that happen to anybody. And I don't care what your faith is, as long as you have faith. As long as you have faith. Because that is the biggest magic of all. Seriously, faith. And you can't hang on to fear and faith at the same time. Because when you have gone to a church, do you see people putting their hands up like this when they're, like, you know, in praise with the rest of the congregation? No, they're doing this. So you cannot hold on to fear and faith at the same time. Just food for thought. I know. But I have kept you guys long enough. What is that on my desk? Okay, these cats have torn up like pieces of the carpet, and I guess it gets stuck in their little nails or something, and then they climb up on my desk, and I don't know what they're doing. I really don't. Mouse is in his new bed. Yeah, we're doing some good times. I can definitely recommend like more books, and as soon as I get my website back up, I promise I'll have a list of my favorite things on there. Hey, mousers. I can't remember what else I was going to say. Okay, that was just like a total like brain fart. But I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful night. I hope you have a great week. I don't know that I'll have a surprise live again this weekend. At least I hope it wasn't like it was last weekend. I mean, me crying on the internet, what am I, Kim Kardashian? I mean, and I'm not pretty when I cry. I think that we've all seen that now, right? I mean, it's not an attractive thing for me to cry and like mess up my eyelashes and like splotchy face. It's not pretty. It's not pretty. So we don't want to do any more of that. And plus that, this is Valentine's Day weekend. Valentine's Day. Although I'm not doing anything special, but I'm filling out Valentine's Day cards for 46 students. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that reminds me, I gotta sign a permission slip. Okay, so is everybody good? Everybody feeling good? And y'all start thinking about like what else we can talk about. I have a list, but I'd like to see what you guys are interested in. So it's gonna be a good night. It is. It's gonna be a great week. I mean, we've got an eclipse coming up next week. Next Tuesday. We have a solar eclipse next Tuesday. Next Tuesday is the beginning of the year of the fire horse. Love that. It's also, this is the first eclipse that we're seeing in the Aquarius Leo ecliptic. So midsummer is when North Node moves into Aquarius and South Node moves into Leo. So we're getting Pisces and Virgo off the ecliptic. Thank God. I mean, oh my gosh. I have had enough of this couple of years with South Node being in Virgo. Girl, I'm wrung out. I'm done. It is now Leo's turn to have South Node. I'm like, ooh, no, I'm all good. I'm full up. Aren't you full up, Mouse? Yeah, so we got a lot of stuff. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Well, sweet dreams to you as well. Love that. I love that. There's Mousers. Hey. Need a little scratch? Need a little scratch? Why don't you come and say hey to everybody? Oh, don't run. Look. Look. Say hey to everybody. Look. See? Okay, I did scare the crap out of him when I saw this on TikTok. I put a cat filter on me, and I scared him, and now he doesn't want to look at the monitor. But that's okay. I'm not gonna make you look at the monitor. He was very confused. It was funny though. I'm so mean. All right, I hope you guys have a wonderful night. I will see you guys next week during this solar eclipse, the year of the fire horse. Moving in a good direction. We're moving in a good direction. All right, I hope y'all have a wonderful week. And what are you going to do until we see each other again? Get out there and make your magic. Bye, y'all.